It's Trickster right here on your Classic Metal Show with Get On It. And opening up the show, we heard Trickster there with the Line of Fire. And a guy whose line of fire I certainly don't want to be in this week is my very good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Slow week, man. Not much. Boring week. Not much happening.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Just passing the time, you know. It's just the summertime blues. Nothing happening. Nothing noteworthy. Nothing to talk about.
Every day was like a mid-Sunday afternoon, just calm and peaceful. Not a damn thing going on.
Right. Just the crickets chirping in the background.
That's right.
Nothing's happening.
Nothing at all.
Right. Well, we are back on the Classic Metal Show after a week off. We'll inform the fans of what's going on there, but it has been an eventful week, a big turning point in this country's history that unfortunately is just another check mark to the end of the line for this country for what we used to know it as.
Yeah, it's pretty much fucking dead, isn't it?
We're just hanging on by a thread now. So next thing we need to do is just enact Sharia law, and that'll be the end of it.
Well, see, but Sharia law would be a problem because that infringes on fag rights.
Well, I understand that, but the thing is the fag rights ruling this week, it's just a smokescreen.
Of what? Of what? Max 12?
It's just a smokescreen while Sharia law is instilled.
Did you happen to see the ISIS videos today of them taking gay guys and throwing them off the top of high rises?
Yeah, I heard that they threw them off a 5-story building.
Yeah, with the hashtag love wins.
Yeah, love wins.
Got to give it to them. That's funny.
It is funny.
It is.
Who says ISIS doesn't have a sense of humor?
They know their social media, and they are jokesters, man.
They are. They're funny sons of bitches.
Damn right.
Well, we are back on the Classic Metal Show. We had full intention of being live last week.
Yes, we did.
We're going, and we'll cover it this week, but we had full intention of being live last week. I had made the trip over to the Cleveland, Ohio area. I spent the night in close proximity to Studio B.
Yes.
So I could be there, and I brought extra equipment so I could, flawlessly and easily transform Studio B into a multi-mic studio.
Right.
And it just didn't happen.
Jesus, as my mic goes crazy. Yeah, no, it did not happen at all.
Right. Well, let's back up here and give people the excuse for what happened last week. I made the trip over to Cleveland because our friend and your employer,
yeah,
Dokken, was playing in the Cleveland area at the Hard Rock Roxino.
Yep.
And they're not playing really anywhere near the Chicago area this year as of yet. I just don't anticipate them, playing anywhere near here. So the closest was a 4.5-hour ride for me.
Sure.
Over to Cleveland. Got over there about 6 o'clock. You met up with me at the hotel about 6:30 or so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My sister and her friends met up over there as well.
Yeah.
And Dawn came down to the what do you call that area?
A breakfast area or something, because there was nothing in there but cereal and fruit and shit.
Yeah, just kind of the breakfast room, or the free continental breakfast area, because there were seats and things to, my room wasn't anywhere just to hang out in. It wasn't really a lot of room, but so Don came down to the foyer area, mm-hmm. and he stopped and talked to us for a few minutes. Goes, well, why don't you guys just come up to my room and you could sit in the front room and watch TV at least?
Right.
So he invited all of us up to his room.
Yeah.
And of course, being that my sister and her friends are not used to meeting someone of celebrity status, let's just put it that way.
Okay.
They were I can't believe we're going to Don Dokken's room.
Dude, this is Don Dokken's couch.
I can't believe that we're here in his room. He just invited us up to come and sit upstairs in his room.
Dude, do you think this is what he really watches on TV?
That literally what was going on.
Yeah, until I busted him out.
Well, that's where it was going to go next. Until Chris busted them all out, saying, "What, you don't think Don can hear you whispering about him?"
Totally embarrassed the shit out of all of them.
Yeah. So
totally
they were just freaking out.
They were,
and didn't know how to what to do. I was just like, dude, just relax, just sit, relax.
Yeah, just hang out. He's a regular human,
right? So Don was just like, oh, well, you got 3 more people than I had anticipated you were bringing. Let me get a hold of the promoter and get you guys hooked up with seats.
Right.
So we got on the phone and called the promoter and got them hooked up with seats and after show and the whole shebang-a-bang.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, my sister and her significant other there, Officer Jim.
Right.
Are you sure this is okay? Are you sure he's not pissed?
Dude, I'm not breaking up the band, am I?
Are you sure he's not pissed?
Yeah, and meanwhile, Don was barely awake.
Yeah. I said, no, he's not pissed. He's getting you guys seats and, a place to hang and watch the show. Are you sure? Is this cool with him?
You think it's okay? We're not pissing him off, are we?
So Don got him hooked up with pretty good seats in the venue.
Sure.
And, made sure that they were able to come back after the show and hang out.
Right.
And what was the highlight of the evening for you? And I'm just going to take a guess, but I'm just going to see if my guess is what it was for you.
Of the bands playing?
Yeah,
or?
just the highlight of the evening hanging out with the band.
You know what? I was excited to meet Mick because I had never met Mick.
That's what I was going to say. Mick was a riot.
Dude, he was on fire, man.
Absolute riot.
Yeah, he was a story a minute and all of them hilarious.
Yeah. So we got to hang out with, the guys from Dokken, and John was as nice as always.
Sure.
I don't think that guy could ever be unpleasant.
No, I mean, I've seen him come close when he wanted to punch John in the face.
Right.
But even then, he was like, he came over to me right after. I'm so sorry, dude, that I raised up on your friend. I was like, fuck him. He's a drunk.
And I got to hang out with Phil Lewis and Steve Riley from LA Guns for a few minutes.
Yeah, I said hi to Riley and I guess the other 2 guys in the band, whoever those guys are now.
Yeah, I don't know either one of them.
But they were on stage with us.
Yeah, they just came up and hung out on the side of the stage, but I don't know either one of those guys.
Yeah, I didn't know either one. I still don't know their names, but they were hanging out and they seemed cool.
Yeah. But Phil and Steve were very cool. I walked back there and Steve was coming up the hall and I said, hey, is that Steve Riley? He's like, Neeley, where have you been, brother? I haven't seen you in 4 years. Nice. He says, like, come on outside with me for a few minutes. So I went outside because he wanted to smoke a cigarette real quick. And then they had to go in and do their whole meet and greet thing.
Yeah.
So it was a very cool night. That's the first time I was at that Roxino. I know you've been there several times and seen shows and whatnot, but it was good. And a few of the CMSers were out there, which Joe Cook was out there sporting the CMS shirt.
Yeah, how about that?
And Kurgan was out there.
Yep.
And I got to say hello to him, and several other people came up. And what's really weird, I don't know if you were there. You probably weren't there, but a couple years ago when Dokken was in Cleveland and we were doing that whole tracking the record.
Oh, yeah.
For Broken Bones, Don had invited a bunch of people up to his room at the time.
Right.
And you didn't come up.
Yeah, I was like, going home.
Yeah, exactly. So this chick, I don't know who she is or whatever. I've seen her around Cleveland for literally years.
Okay.
I don't know what her name is or who she is. She's just kind of like a beggar hanger-on.
Okay.
But last time we were at the downtown Cleveland with Doc, and she somehow was one of the entourage that came up to Don's room when we were, listening to Broken Bones before they had to turn it in.
Okay.
And then a bunch of people had left, and it was just me and Don, and I think Teresa was there, and a couple other people were there. And this chick, I don't know who she is. Well, she just decides she's just going to lay down on the floor and go to sleep. And Don basically told her, "Hey, what are you doing? Well, I'm just gonna sleep here if that's okay." And he's just like, "No, it's not okay. You need to get up and go get your own room. Get out of here." Well, that same chick was at the show.
Nice.
And she was up by the side of the stage. I'd walked out onto the stage there after the show was over to say hello to some of the CMS people who came out.
Right.
And she come running over to say, can you get me in the back? Like, I'm this, I'm this long time, fan, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, no.
Nope. Nope. Belong.
Exactly. But there were 2 or 3 people there with memorabilia and things that they wanted signed, which I did. Sure. I did grab a few of them and run them back, and Don signed them real quick, and I took them back out.
Right.
It was like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. But it was cool. And then you and I, we hung out. We went to the casino area.
Yeah.
And grabbed a sandwich together and a couple drinks.
Yep.
And before I know it, I'm looking at you, and you're just like uncomfortably squirming around in your chair.
Yeah. All of a sudden it hit me. The fucking bone popped back out of my foot.
Nice.
And I wasn't necessarily feeling it. I felt it. It was uncomfortable, but I was like, whatever. It's probably just from my shoes or something. I didn't think much about it. But then we, of course, got lost finding the car.
Right. You forgot what quadrant you were parked in outside of the casino there. So we were leaving because you were going to give me a ride back to the hotel and drop me off because I was only at the hotel a couple miles down the road.
Right.
And you forgot because that parking lot is just huge.
Yeah, it's huge. And I parked in a hurry because you guys rode in the van.
Right.
And I followed the van. Well, the van went to a place that I couldn't park. So I had to just go throw my car somewhere and then hurry up to the front so that I could get in.
That's probably when you probably got your foot out of whack.
It probably is because I was running.
Yeah.
To get back in. And I think I might have jacked my foot, but I didn't realize it. But when I woke up Saturday morning, I certainly realized that I couldn't fucking move.
Right.
Oh my God, it was hurting.
Yeah. So I went and visited with my dad on Saturday because I was going to do the show Saturday night with you.
Right. And
being that I was going to be at your place so late and I was going to head back to the hotel, I was just going to get up and jet on Sunday and head back home, Sure. So I wanted to go get my visiting out of the way. And, I get this text from you, dude, I'm just like in so much pain. I don't think I can do the show tonight. I can't focus. I'm just in so much pain.
Well, I went to the chiropractor on Saturday morning because I knew what it was. I mean, not to get all into fucking medical show, but I've got what's called cuboid syndrome, which is it's a bone in the middle of your foot that if you have flat feet, it pops out every now and again. And when it pops out, it fucking pull all your tendons in your foot on both sides of your foot fucking contract. And then they have to stretch it and push this fucking bone back in. Well, it hurt like hell when it all got stretched out from doing it. I had done it 2 weeks ago, and I had it pop back in. And then, because I woke up and it hurt so bad, I knew what it was, so I went back to the chiropractor, and she did it again, and she had a fucking bitch of a time putting it back in. She couldn't get it.
Right.
So she kept yanking on my foot and pushing this fucking bone in, and she couldn't quite get it, and then she finally did. Well, by that time, my foot was just fucking totaled.
Yeah.
I mean, I was damn near crying. If the chiropractor wasn't so damn hot and I wasn't trying to look cool, I would have been bawling.
Right.
But, I got home and that was it. I was on the bed. I couldn't get off the bed. I couldn't move without crutches. I couldn't do shit.
Right.
It was painful, man. And then it was just like, man, how am I going to try and talk about, whatever, tell dick jokes when my fucking foot is killing me.
Right.
You know, and that's why I just texted you and was like, this ain't fucking happening, bro.
Sure, absolutely.
Which sucked because this is the second time that you've come here and not done the show.
Right.
You know, it fucking sucks.
Yeah. Well, you know, it all worked out for the best. My sister and her boyfriend, they were out running around, and so we all just met up for dinner and went to one of my favorite Italian restaurants, Carrabba's. And we just had dinner together and had some drinks and stuff, and that all worked out fine. But yeah, I would have liked to have done the show, but not under those circumstances. So
yeah.
That is the reason you kids did not get a live show last week.
Yeah, well, and you and I do have a rule. If we can't do it right, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, and you know, if you're in a lot of pain and you can't keep your mind focused, it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, we would have ended up playing 3.5 hours of music last week.
Right.
And what you would have got would have been shitty shit with me just going, and fucking grabbing my foot every time. In between every, I'd have been away from the microphone grabbing my goddamn foot.
Sure. And it's like, is it 3:00 yet?
Yeah. Is it? Oh, it's only midnight? Fuck. Well, that's all I can do. I'm out.
Yeah. I got to go lay down.
Yeah. You finish.
I can't take it.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what happened to the show last week. But believe me, the intention was there to do a live show. It just did not materialize.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. Because thank God we had that week off so that now we have 2 weeks of stuff to cover this week since there was barely anything happening this week.
Right, exactly.